want to see the mask size. This is 150 compared to the other one, but I'm gonna show you the whole thing. Let me take all these supports and then we'll take a look at it. All right, today I got my AMS for my Kobra 3 Max. Now, the great thing about it is that I could add all the filaments in here. Don't have to worry about the hanging this long ribbon that I bought for the older one. Look at this. This is the double spool one, the large one. You got to hang it somewhere. Now, I don't have to do that no more because the beautiful thing is that I could just set them up any of these right here and it'll automatically do it, automatically feed it. So that's what I'm looking for. I need this. That's what I needed. So we'll put it together and see how it works. We have cardboard ones. I'm not sure if this is going to work very well with the cardboard automatically. All right, we just set up the dryer right now and it's going. All right, so we're going to slice something. We're going to make a mask made of gold right now. No color or anything, just gold, all right? It's going to take 8 hours preparation. It said it was 100% or 5%, and basically it wasn't. So all right, we're going to put some color on our mask now. We'll make it larger too. Might make it increase the size just a little bit. All right, here's 150% that we're doing. Okay, it looks like it might have got stuck here, but it's resuming. Doing white again. All right, day number 2. It's looking good, but a lot stringy. As long as it doesn't mess up. So this couldn't hang, and it's gonna need glue next time. Next time I'm doing something, I'm gonna do glue. So all right, day 3. Finally finished it. Now these things is because the support didn't work out very well. I didn't glue it. I guess I'm gonna have to glue it next time. But overall, I am very impressed. It holds on really good, even that without the support. There's one line I see in here, but overall, I want to see the whole thing. Let's take it apart. So let me show you the final products that I got from this system. They printed out pretty good, actually. So this is the original mask, all right, and no colors, all right. I didn't add any colors, all right. This mask has 3 colors and it's 150. This is 100%. This is 150 higher. All right, if you guys can see. Now I did add colors on this one. I had only 3 basic colors. I colored it myself. All right. So I did miss a couple. I was doing a triangle color fill in. If you guys can see that. So I did miss 1 or 2, but it actually gives it a good like a realistic look kind of thing, because not every animal has a perfect shade of hair. They mix other colors, so it's perfect. I did the eyebrows, if you guys can see that. So 2 sets in here, 2 sets in here. I matched it up pretty good. It's a beautiful mask that I printed out. Everything in gold. Black nose, of course, you can't go wrong. I was gonna do something pink or something, but you know, it's just a basic nose now. Now, the one thing that was impressed, it does have an issue with doing the topping it out. And that's pretty much a lot of printers. If you guys can see right here in this part right here, starts topping out. And you can see more of the line on the actual top right here on this part. There's a couple manual changes you can make on the system to fix this, but it's known for a lot of printers that do this, you know, from Bamboo Labs to that system itself, to the Kobra, to the Algu, to pretty much everything Creality. They all can get rid of that final piece where they top off, and then you can see the lines right there, inside and outside, and it does it on both. You guys can see that. Now I printed a couple things here, if you guys can see. All right, I printed out 2 terminators. All right, the blue one was in Bamboo Labs K1, and the other one was at that 3D Max 3D Kobra Max 3. This one was a Max, the orange one. All right, if you guys can see. Now the orange one, it didn't win. It was the K1 that won because it had more details, better stuff that the other one didn't do very well. In fact, you could actually see through the gun in here. It's a chain gun, right? You're supposed to see through the chain. You're not gonna see a perfect print on this one because the size is too small, and I'm using a 0.4 millimeters on it. But if I wanted better details, I would have gone 2.0. but you can actually see through in the actual weapon itself. Every barrel's different, and this one you can't. You guys can see that. It's all fixed one. Detail wise, it's less detail on this one. Um, for some reason, it tried its best. I mean, it kind of messed up on the top. So did the other one, but less of it. And when I'm talking about it's because you can actually see some details on this one. Level of details is higher than the other one. You can't really, I can't justify it through the video right now, but in reality, in real life, this is what I'm talking about. It's just this one's a lot better than this one. All right, so now I did do a test on the machine where I turn off the power and I turn it on, and it did pick up where it left off, but it left the line like I did in my last video. And I just wanted to bring this up. Now, I did do a benchy, and I did a different benchy, right? Now, this was like a scene from Titanic benchy, all right? Now, it shows Jack and the girl here. Now, the level details didn't come out through on this one, right? And in fact, it didn't finish the arm very well. It couldn't it needed supports. I tried to do this without supports because the benchy, there's no supports on the benchy, all right? Only the bottom support. That's pretty much what you have to do. So it couldn't finish properly the hand. You're going to see one hand, which is hers, and it's not, the level of details is not the greatest on that one. So there's two people in there on the benchy. Overall, the whole bolt came out pretty good. Stringy. It came out really stringy. Filament is wet. I didn't heat it up. It's something that I need to do more. And now I did a different benchmark, and I'm going to bring it up so you guys can see the larger, better benchmark that this one determines how good of a machine we had. All right, this is a 3D test print that we did, all right? And look at the level that it printed. And this machine is pretty good. I mean, it went all the way to 80 degrees, if you guys can see it. That's where it starts losing itself, like right at the edge, all right? And that's pretty much something. It's stringy. Haven't cleaned it up. It came out stringy, all right? And the level of details on the actual curve came out pretty good. Other than the edge, this part right here on the bottom, let's see if I can see it to the back. It's kind of losing its way right here, right in the 80, but it's capable of tilting all the way through, and good details actually, not that bad. It's legible. Everything's legible in here. Now, the fine print when it's trying to print like really tiny prints, it's very difficult. It's not going to be able to do it. It's either too fast for it, or the level of the nose is just made for larger projects, all right? And if you guys see, it's not legible on some of it. You can see here and there, some of the entries that we have are off, all right? Like the level of the test that we have in here, you could actually fit things, but measuring it's a little bit off. And I took a little measurement, and you can even tell on this one, it's not 100% how they go into it, you know? Now the test I like about it, this test right here, the overflow right here in this part, it tells you if it could create like a bridge area. Like I'm gonna tilt this sideways so you guys can see, because it could go through. In the level of it was actually able to do it on the smallest one really good. You can enter something in there all the way to the end. So bridging, this is a bridging test, that's what it's called. Now you can't see the actual fine print that much. I should have used a different color, but on this one it tells you, yeah, it's not that legible. I'm not going to be able to tell you on this one, you know. And now look at the actual tubes too that it created. It was able to do it, but everything came out stringy. Next time I think I'm gonna have to leave it there. In my recommendation, if you guys are ever gonna print something, maybe take your time and turn on the heater before you actually print. You get a better fine quality of print. I just got it out of the box and I started printing all this stuff without heating. I couldn't wait, so I wanted to show you guys how good or how bad the system is. And so far I'm not 100% impressed with it, you know. I think it could be there, but it's gonna need some more modification. When I'm talking about modification, more the firmware. In fact, it's very confusing out of the box. When I started using it and installed the firmware, it kept asking me if I wanted to do the firmware. It was a loop cycle. So I uninstalled it and reinstalled it, and then it restarted again. Now, I left it as it is because I was able to create, I was able to see my system offline and online. But when I did the update, it lost my printer. All right. So that's one thing you got to keep an eye on that. The software is a little off. I like it that it's similar to the bamboo slicer. They use the Orca slicer background, but they need to refine that stuff. Another thing is the camera on the. I tried different cameras on it. It's very difficult to add a camera on it. So I order a Kobra 3 camera. I'm not sure if they're trying to lock it down where you can install your own camera or something, but it's very hit and miss on some of the stuff. I had to turn it off and on in order to recover or maybe start the next process. I mean, it was just one of things out of the box. It still needs a little bit more fine tuning, but it's a good product to have. But I would suggest I would just continue to keep an eye on that, and I'm going to continue to print. I'm actually going to print a whole larger structure and diagram all together. I am going to glue it down because the last one, when I was printing this, I was keeping an eye on it because it did lose a couple of the supports. It lost the actual area where it drops off its extra supplies of colors on the back. It was just very tedious on this one. I kept an eye on it and I kept going in there every time it changes the print colors, but it did a great recovery. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I learned my lesson. If I'm gonna build something this big and print that something this large, I am gonna glue it down. Unless, like I said, if they bring a frost cover, a frost plate, then I would buy that in a heartbeat because that frost plate, I used it for more than 3 months already, and I haven't had any issues with it adding any kind of glue at all. So my recommendation is just add glue if you're going to print something as large as this. All right. Now, for stuff like this, I could care less. I mean, this is recoverable. It's very simple. I didn't add any glue or anything like that. I don't want to start adding glue on something that should have been out of the box, not failing like that. So far it hasn't failed. It hasn't given me any issues with every single print I was including with this one. The one I thought was going to fail the most, it didn't. Even on the recovery, it's not that bad on it. Even after I took out the power and restarted with the power, it's not a bad. I mean, this is I can do something like this if it ever comes on the line of mask. You can always do some fillers and sand it down just a little bit. It's an extra work, of course, but overall, it's a great system. I mean, I'm happy now that they added colors. Now it's the next step. Now I'm thinking about doing an Iron Man suit, Halo suit, RoboCop. All these things are coming in mind now. Bigger and better plates I can do, bigger and better cosplays for Comic Cons and other features. Maybe diagrams that I don't need to add extra features. I could do the colors on one. So very simple, easy to use. I hope you guys enjoy the video.